Hey, it's Frank here with 4D Honeybee. Second time ever I'm going to try and do an inspection with no smoke and no protective equipment other than this bug hat. My bees have been amazing this year. I'm incredibly happy with them. I had one hive that probably swarmed on me. I split it twice and they formed another queen right away. And then that queen took them all back into the original hive body box. That's incredible. This hive here is my newly named hive. Introducing Venus. It's the Venus hive. Thank you to everybody who played along with me and threw out some names there for me to name this hive. It wasn't coming to me. Usually that stuff really comes to me right off the bat. But this hive is now the Venus hive because the queen took off. Venus is the goddess of love, so they made another bee, another queen out of love, and she's back. So it's another gorgeous day for beekeeping. It is, just going to give you a look around here. It is 27 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 78, 79 Fahrenheit. So we're still in the warm weather. There's not a dearth here in Ontario to speak of. At least I don't believe there is. There's pretty much stuff blooming all the time. But what happens in July and August is you get some droughts. You get some, 10, 11, 12 days with no precipitation at all and things dry up, or the nectar might slow down. We had 10 days in a row of really high heat for this area about 2 weeks ago, but since then we've had every other day we've had rain. And the rain has come overnight, which has been fantastic. So the bees go at it full bore, full day in this kind of weather, and then they get rain overnight, which means there's fresh nectar for them in the morning. So I think it's been absolutely fantastic. This hive has done really well, even though it was queenless for a bit, because the queen took off when I installed the nuke. It's funny, I've lost both queens, queen in each hive. But this queen, they reformed that queen right away, and this queen has been laying really nicely. So I put the second brood box on it about 5 days ago, I think, 7 days ago. And I just want to check it now, just to make sure everything's going fine. Hopefully a quick inspection. I'd love to see the queen, but I'm more interested in seeing about what the queen is doing. And I may bring out an extra honey super for this box. What's going on with these bees? Look. Oh. See them? It looks like one bee is carrying the other one away. Yeah, look. What's going on there? Bees, what are you doing? Be nice to each other. Well, it could be that one of the bees from my other hive has come over and not taken too kindly to it. So anyway, thanks for joining me at 4D Honeybee, and hopefully this won't be too long an inspection. Hoping not to find any surprises, because goodness knows I've had enough of them. But let's inspect the Venus hive at 4D Honeybee. Okay, so hopefully this won't be too long an inspection. I have not lit my smoker again, and I'm a little underdressed, but these bees have been amazing. So I just have to keep my cool, treat them well, and they'll treat me well, I think. I hope. Looking for the queen on the lid. No queen excluders of any kind put in here, because again, I'm not really concerned about honey production. I just want bees produced and bees to be healthy. So I don't even have my smoker lit, because these bees have been so good to me. I think it's a combination of the fact that there must be a good genetic line, but also the weather has just been so perfect for them ever since I've installed this nuke. That must help. Now, while I say that, though, this hive was queenless. It was queenless immediately, because the queen jumped off the nuke as I installed it and took off. And I inspected a couple days later and a week later, and there was no queen. But they made another one quickly and promptly. And this is what we've got as a result. Always good to see bees up in that upper lid and upper box. I know people get really concerned about me leaving all this bird comb on the lid. I just find it's more trouble to take off, to remove it. So normally I just leave it and they'll just work with it. You can see there's very little burr comb on these actual frames. Okay, so these are fairly new frames that I put in here last week. So I don't have huge expectations, but you do see a decent concentration of bees right in here, right? So it would be absolutely lovely if I saw that the queen had laid some eggs in there, some brood or whatever. Just looking for evidence that the queen is right and laying eggs. I will look for the queen on every frame. You never know where she might be. Here's an example of why you don't wear gloves, believe it or not. And you saw that I just kind of dropped that frame, half dropped it. I dropped it because I put my thumb right on a bee. And it didn't sting me. It didn't sting me because I knew I put my thumb on the bee. As soon as I put my thumb on the bee and it gives you a little buzz, you get the crap scared out of you. And you let go, you release, right? And that way they just take a little bump instead of a bee getting squished and nasty pheromones being released and really upsetting and killing bees. So that might have sounded bad, and it did, but that was actually a really good thing that I'm proud of. Okay, they're drawing out this comb here. You see that? That's good. Next one is looking pretty drawn out, pretty ready for her to lay. And again, because this cluster is over here, there might be a queen there, so I'll be extra diligent. Okay, here's a frame where they're putting honey in the top. They've got some pollen in it as well, so this is a beautiful frame for the queen to lay in. Other side, same story. Just, you can see the glistening at the top of the frame. They fill honey and pollen at the top of the frame, and then the queen lays in the bottom, the middle bottom, or in the rest of the frame, basically. Oops. I think I got a bee with my hive tool there. By accident. Okay, get out the way. Get out the way. Get. Okay. These frames are great for the queen to be laying in, so she does have room up here. This would be a very typical frame that we would see her in, and just look at how, see how they're making this semicircle. Here, I'll show you on the GoPro. They're making this semicircle of nectar, which will then be honey, and then she starts laying in here and starts working the pattern out more or less from the middle lower part of the frame. So they're not quite ready for her yet on this frame to lay. There she is. There's the queen right there. What was I saying? They're not ready for her. See her there? Look at that big, beautiful queen. Look at her. Wow. Let's get her on the GoPro here. See her? That is a big queen. Boy, oh boy. Hi, Venus. How you doing, goddess? There she is, dropping an egg right there. You see her? And she goes, butt into the cell. Egg dropped. Now the bees tend to it. That is amazing. Look at that beautiful queen. So very fortunate that I put these frames in at the top. I just really gently want to push her against the other frame here. See, the queen is on this frame, on this side. So I gently push this frame against this side so I know I can't squish her now. Okay, so I will take a quick look at the rest of the top brood box, or top box, and just see what's going on down below. I just want to make sure that this queen has room to lay, and those last few frames were beautiful. They showed the frames are ready for her to lay, and she's there laying. And you remember what I said? Remember I said the concentration of where the bees are? Sometimes, usually, are a good sign that that's where the queen is. There's a cluster around her, you know? And maybe that's part of why I've been better at spotting the bees, or the queens, this year. I've been concentrating on that cluster area. Look at this brood. Yeehaw! Look at that. That is beautiful. Beautiful. This side even nicer. Wow. And you see what I mean with... See how they've got honey all around and they're just capping it? honey, and then she lays her brood in here and starts working her way out from there. Amazing. So happy. So I might put a honey super on this hive soon as well. It's not jam-packed with bees now. You see how there's lots of room over here? See that? There's practically no bees over there, and those are probably not drawn out. But I don't mind the queen going up in the honey super and laying eggs, laying brood. If that's what she needs, let her do it, I say. Because I'm not on a mission for honey this year, right? I'm strictly on a mission for survival of bees. They're drawing this side out really nicely. Okay, I'm going to close up this box. I'm going to take a quick look at the bottom box just to see if she has room to lay down there. And then that's it for this hive. Venus is looking lovely as ever. She's my goddess of bee love. And she is doing a great job in this hive. And she's got these bees just as calm as could be. She was big, eh? Did you see the size of her? My goodness. I remember my early days when I would mistake a drone for a queen. Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. There is no mistaking a right laying fertile queen bee. Alright, so into the bottom box we go, really quickly. Upper box is not very heavy yet, but that's okay because she's just gotten in it to lay brood in the last few days, which is perfectly fine by me. The purpose of this, of looking into the bottom brood box, even though I've already seen the queen, I already know that she's laying, and she has some room up top, I want to see what kind of room she has on the bottom. Just to know how close she is at all, if she is at all, to being honey bound or to not have enough room for laying brood. So you see, it takes them to draw out comb. Wow, heavy, heavy honey frame. Look at that. So what does a queen do while they're waiting to draw out comb on new frames? I don't know, but I know if she's full of eggs, she wants to lay those eggs. I don't want my queen to want to be swarming. It's late July, we're heading into August. So swarms aren't as likely at this time, but still it could happen. So that's 3 frames of nothing but honey that I've pulled out so far. Now here's a frame that's completely undrawn out. They're working on it, but haven't done much yet on it. Here's another frame that's completely undrawn out. Now this next frame should be full of brood. You can just tell by all the bees on it, right? It's also possible that the queen made her way down in the bottom box after I saw her. Okay, so this is emerging brood. So see how the middle is already open? That's because the bees are hatching from the middle out. Because she starts laying her eggs from the middle out. And these are hatching as well. So that's a good sign. I'm glad I saw this because that means that as soon as these bees hatch out, and they're doing it now, they'll clean up those cells and the queen will be able to get right back in there and keep laying. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Hopefully the same kind of thing. Beautiful brood frame. Wow. Okay, this one's got a lot of drone combs. So you see all those big cells here, down here? That's all drone. And normally you gotta know what you're looking at. It's nice to see drone comb. It means the hive is nice and healthy, but it's usually at the very bottom of a frame. So I don't like seeing it in the middle like that. Sometimes it can mean that the queen starts laying that comb before she's fertile, or that there's a worker laying eggs, and you don't want that in a hive. Drone comb in general is a good sign, but it really needs to be organized in the right place. Again, this is according to what we know about bees. Look at how these girls are all lined up at the top of the frame, just having a look at me. Look at this. You see all those little heads sticking there? They're just checking me out. The most incredible, incredible creatures in the world, I have to say. Here's a dude, big ugly guy, tearing up their frame, opening up their hives, exposing it to light, checking out their queen. Certainly he's probably squishing some of them. And then just keeping an eye on me. Another beautiful, beautiful brood frame. Let's have a quick look at this one. It should be a honey frame. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to take it out. So that's it for this inspection. I'm going to close this up, try and be gentle so I can really finish on a high note here. Because it really, for me, doesn't get much better than this. Beekeeping on a gorgeous day, hives that are incredibly friendly, doing really well, and just trying to set yourself up for a good number of healthy bees heading into the fall and winter that you can then overwinter and bring them in back to life next year. So I'll super fast forward it just to button this hive up, and then I'll give you just my parting words. Okay, so that does it for the Venus hive. Okay, so I have to do the conclusion video this way as opposed to out in the field because you guessed it, my camera failed. I think what's happened now is the SD card is filled up and I can't film any more video. And there's no way to erase the SD card because you have to erase it on the camera looking at the screen, which is broken. So anyway, hopefully that problem will be alleviated soon because I get a new camera in a few days here. But anyway, I wanted to thank Lagrange Bees. Lagrange is a new beekeeper out of Quebec. I'm not sure where in Quebec, but Lagrange, if you're listening, just let me know. And he's just started a channel and started beekeeping this year, and he's putting up some good videos. So go over there and support him as well. Maybe give him a like these videos, and subscribe if you haven't already because it helps out. And thanks for joining me at 40 Honeybee.